If you thought our current teams were crazy, just wait until you see this. Okay, picture this. You're cruising through the newest map, but instead of taking the long way around a mountain, you literally launch your motorcycle off a cliff and just take flight. Yeah, you heard me. We need to talk about what's coming next, because the second year anniversary is shaping up to be one of the absolute biggest updates we have ever seen in the history of the game. We've got massive news dripping in about the full 3.3 banners, completely revamped character skins, mind-blowing quality of life changes, and wait for it, we might actually be getting our hands on a free 5-star weapon selector. This totally flips how we usually build our accounts, and I am so here for it. Let's break this down together and see exactly what's cooking behind the scenes. But hey, real quick before we dive into the absolute madness of these new mechanics and banner leaks, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel a lot, and with the anniversary hype train leaving the station, you are not going to want to miss the deep dives we've got planned. Alright, let's not waste any time. We are jumping straight into the engine upgrades and gameplay shifts, because this stuff is going to change how Wuthering Waves feels on a daily basis. Let's start with exploration, the bread and butter of our daily grind. We are looking at a major upgrade to the motorcycle, which will finally allow for actual flight and gliding mechanics while you're riding. For anyone who felt like the latest region was a little restrictive because we couldn't take to the skies, this is your saving grace. You're no longer just restricted to the ground. The motorcycle essentially becomes the ultimate all-terrain vehicle, letting you glide over gaps and drastically speed up your farming routes. But that's not even the craziest overworld change. Hear me out, because the new character, Hiyuki, is introducing a mechanic that feels straight out of a next-gen tech demo. She has an environmental effect tied to her kit that actively changes the landscape around you. When you trigger her attack and she shifts into her second form, she essentially blankets the entire surrounding region in a massive frost and snow effect. We aren't just talking about a small AoE puddle here. She literally brings the winter with her. It's going to look absolutely incredible, and adds a whole new layer of immersion to her gameplay. On the technical side, the devs have been grinding behind the scenes. We are expecting massive, large-scale UI revamps touching almost every menu in the game, bringing the whole visual aesthetic up to date. And with an update this massive, they've also been working hard on performance and storage optimizations to make sure our devices don't melt. But the dopamine hits don't stop there. The summoning screens are getting a massive facelift. We are looking at updated UI, fresh visuals, and brand new music for the gacha animations. Even better, when you pull a weapon, it might actually feature the character holding it and doing an animation, rather than just showing a floating PNG of the sword. It's the little things that make pulling so satisfying. We should get a sneak peek at all of this in the Friday livestream. And speaking of cozy, let's talk about the endgame, housing. It is heavily speculated that we are finally getting a dedicated dorm system. You'll be able to customize your own personal space, decorate it to your liking, and actually interact with your characters in a relaxed environment. It perfectly ties up the whole Jinjo storyline we are concluding. By the way, guys, if you love theory crafting these new characters and want to chat with like-minded people about team comps and lore, come join our Discord server. The link is in the description. It's a super chill place, and we'd love to have you hang out with us. Okay, let's get into the heavy hitters. The banners for version 3.3 have gone through some massive shifts. Last year, for the first anniversary, they gave us a massive pool of 5 characters in a single banner and let us choose our rate up. This time, they are completely changing the playbook. We are returning to the triple banner format that we first saw back in version 3. Phase 1 is coming out swinging with Hiyuki, confirmed to be our brand new 5-star Glacial Sword main DPS. She is going to be the anchor of your team, dealing the heavy hit. But the reruns alongside her are what make this banner an absolute goldmine. We are getting Mornier, the 5-star Fusion Broadblade, and Yuno, the 5-star Arrow Gauntlet. Here is the kicker. Mornier hasn't had a rerun since 3, and the timing is completely intentional. Why? Because he is slated to get a brand new 5-star skin dropping right alongside his banner in the first phase. If you've been waiting to max out your Mornier, this is your moment. If Phase 1 is about raw power, Phase 2 is all about the ultimate team synergy. Enter Denia. She's arriving as a 5-star Fusion Rectifier sub-DPS. Denia is essentially the ultimate Swiss Army knife for your account because of her insane roll compression. She doesn't just do off-field damage, She excels at breaking toughness and thrives in negative status-focused teams. She basically does the job of two characters at once. And because the devs know exactly what they are doing, they are pairing her up with her absolute best-in-slot teammate, Chisa. Chisa is getting a rerun as a 5-star Havoc Broadblade support, and she is entirely built around manipulating negative statuses. Rounding out the second half is Frulova, the 5-star Havoc Rectifier. Let's talk meta for a second. Chisa is undeniably the biggest winner of this entire update. Because both Hiyuki and Denia benefit massively from her unique kit, Chisa's account value is about to skyrocket. If you skipped her before, she is now the ultimate wildcard you need to unlock the damage ceiling for the new characters. Across the whole patch, we are looking at 2 brand new characters and 4 massive reruns, 6 banners in total. Our Astrite stashes are in danger. So, how are we going to afford all these banners? The developers have already hinted that this year's rewards are going to eclipse the first anniversary, and the math is looking incredibly generous. Just from logging in and breathing, free-to-play players can expect to grab a solid 40 to 50 pulls right off the bat. But if you actually play the game, clear the new events, and explore the map, the total pulls for the entire 3.3 update could easily land between 150 to 200 pulls completely free. On top of that, sources are pointing to a special, standalone event that hands out an additional 10 standard pulls, 10 weapon pulls, and 10 limited character pulls. That right there is an insanely generous jumpstart, effectively acting as a massive bonus on top of your login rewards. And now, for the grand finale. The absolute biggest rumor floating around right now is that we might be receiving a 5-star weapon selector. Now, keep your expectations somewhat grounded here, because the details are still heavily guarded. If it's a selector for the standard banner weapons, that is still a massive win for newer players trying to stabilize their accounts. But, if this ends up being a selector that includes limited weapons, that is an absolute game changer. It completely shifts how you manage your resources, letting you save your pulls for the character banners while guaranteeing that critical signature weapon for your main DPS. We should get the final confirmation on this during the upcoming Friday livestream. Between the 6 banners, the flying overworld tech, the massive UI overhauls, and the mountain of free pulls, version 3.3 is looking like an absolute masterpiece of an anniversary patch. And we haven't even touched on the rumors that version 3.4 is going to bring a massive cyberpunk collaboration. The future of this game is looking brighter than ever. I would absolutely love to hear your team ideas down in the comments, whether you're going all in for Hiyuki's crazy ice mechanics, snagging Denia for that meta-team synergy, or holding strong for the cyberpunk collab in 3.4. Let's get a discussion going. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the breaking anniversary news dropping soon. Keep grinding, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you all in the next video.